Welcome to the deep dive. We dig through the sources to pull out insights you can really use. So have you ever felt that gap, the English grammar rules, you've studied them, but then actually having a natural, confident chat in real life, it just feels
Yeah.
different, right? Maybe your mind goes blank when someone asks a simple question. Well, if that sounds like you, then this deep dive is definitely for you. Our mission today is to bridge that exact gap. We're not just going to explain what to say. We want to show you how to engage in those practical, everyday English conversations, make them feel, more intuitive. We're pulling insights from two really great sources, Confident English, Daily Conversations for Learners, and The Power of Small Talk in English. So first we'll unpack the basic building blocks, the fundamentals, and then we'll get into the surprising power of something often overlooked, small talk. But maybe you can kick us off. Why is small talk actually so critical? What's the big deal?
That's a great place to start. Because, yeah, small talk often gets dismissed, doesn't it, as just like filler. But as our sources really emphasize, getting comfortable with these simple interactions, it's not just about speaking better English. It genuinely opens doors. It's how we connect with people, build that initial rapport, and ultimately that's where confidence comes from in English-speaking settings. So, yeah, we'll look at the basic words and grammar, absolutely, but also the strategy behind it, how to keep things flowing, the why behind the what, basically.
Okay, great. Let's unpack this then, starting with those foundational steps,
Yep.
the absolute basics of daily communication. We need to ground ourselves in scenarios you actually face, right? Confident English kicks things off with a super common one, meeting new people. Let's imagine two people, Emma and David. Emma might start with, "Hi, my name is Emma. What's your name?" David replies, "Hello, I'm David. Nice to meet you." Pretty standard. Then Emma follows up. "Nice to meet you too, David. Where are you from?" David, "I'm from Canada." "And you, Emma?" "I'm from Pakistan. Do you live here?" And David finishes, "Yes, I do. I moved here last year." Now that seems really simple on the surface, but honestly, for a lot of learners, just starting that conversation, that's the toughest part.
It really is. And what's fascinating there, if you look closer, it's not just exchanging facts. Take nice to meet you. It's more than just politeness, isn't it? It's like a social signal. It shows you're friendly, you're open to connecting. And notice the immediate follow-up questions. What's your name? Where are you from? They're not just data collection, they're invitations, little signals saying, I'm interested, which is, well, crucial for building that initial comfort. These small things are key.
Exactly. So from that little exchange, we get key phrases like, "Nice to meet you," essential for that first meeting. "Where are you from?" The standard way to ask about origin. And "I moved here" clearly explains you came to live somewhere new. Right there, you've got the essentials for a warm intro, packed with those important social cues you mentioned. But daily life isn't only introductions, it's also practical stuff like shopping. Confident English gives another great example, this time in a grocery store. The customer asks, "Excuse me, how much are these apples?"
Standard question.
Shopkeeper replies, "They are $2 per kilo." Customer, "Okay, I'll take 2 kilos, please." Shopkeeper might ask, "Sure. Do you need anything else?" Customer, "Yes, I also need a loaf of bread." The shopkeeper wraps it up. "Here you go. That will be $5 in total." Again, simple, clear, but packed with useful language. Think about how useful those phrases are. Have you ever been stuck in a shop trying to ask for a loaf of bread or figure out a price? That little phrase, "Excuse me," it's not just words. It's a polite way to get attention, right? Avoids being abrupt.
Right, smooths the interaction.
And then, "per kilo" tells you the pricing basis. "Loaf of bread," that specific term. These are the things that make you feel capable in the real world.
And if we dig a bit deeper, look at the grammar underlying both those conversations, the intro and the shopping. There's a really key point here about the simple present tense. It's fundamental, really versatile. Confident English points out its three main uses. First, daily routines. I go to school every day. Second, facts. The sun rises in the east. And third, habits. She drinks coffee every morning. Simple, direct. And in the dialogues we just heard, I live here. I need a loaf of bread. Both simple present. Getting comfortable with this tense is so important because it lets you share clear factual info and talk about your routines without, overcomplicating things. It's about clear communication in everyday situations.
Okay, so we've got these foundational bits, the basic interactions, the simple present tense, but sometimes the most powerful communication tools are the ones we kind of dismiss, aren't they? What's often underestimated.
Oh, that's a perfect segue, because that brings us squarely to small talk. Our other source, The Power of Small Talk in English, really dives into this, and it starts with a bang. Small talk is big power. It's underestimated precisely because people think it's just fluff, unimportant chat.
Small talk is big power. I like that. It really sticks with you. Why is it so crucial, though? Well, think about it logically. When you meet someone new, you don't just launch into deep philosophy or, complex work stuff, right?
Generally not, no.
No. Small talk is the bridge. It helps create that connection, helps people feel comfortable with each other first. And it's absolutely everywhere,
Yeah.
every day. Offices, schools, waiting for coffee, standing in line. It's constant in English-speaking places. Its purpose often gets missed, though. And the power of small talk drops this pretty startling fact. Communication experts reckon that 70% of conversations in English-speaking countries begin with small talk.
70%.
Yeah. I mean, just pause and think about that implication. If you avoid small talk or feel awkward doing it, you're basically missing the starting point for most interactions.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It really is huge. And the source suggests why that number's so high. It's like a social testing ground. Small talk lets us gauge the situation, find common ground, establish a bit of comfort before committing to something deeper. It's low pressure, lets you subtly check the other person's mood, maybe their willingness to chat longer. It's not superficial. It's actually a really fundamental human way of building trust. It just has these specific English patterns.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like dipping your toe in the water. And here's the encouraging part. The power of small talk reassures us that, quote, small talk is easy to learn because it follows patterns. Once you recognize these patterns, you can apply them pretty much anywhere. So what are these magic patterns? What are the typical topics? Well, the source gives a great list of safe, friendly topics, the kind that work almost anywhere. These are your go-to starters. First, the classic, the weather. Like, it's really sunny today, isn't it? Can't go wrong there.
Never fails.
Then, work or school. Maybe, how's work going these days? Or how are classes? Hobbies are good too. You like watching movies or reading or whatever. Weekend plans are always reliable. Any plans for the weekend?
And travel. Have you been anywhere interesting lately? Simple, open questions.
And connecting back to that idea of patterns, these predictable topics aren't about being boring or superficial. They're vital for creating that comfort zone, that rapport, before you can even think about deeper stuff. It's a low-stakes way to interact. And honestly, just knowing these few topics can massively help overcome that fear of, oh no, what do I say? You have a starting point, a toolkit. It empowers you to engage instead of just staying silent. Right. So you're not just standing there awkwardly. Okay, now let's get practical. The how-to. What specific techniques and phrases make small talk actually work, make it feel natural? The power of small talk gives us two really good strategies. Okay, strategy one. Keep it light, keep it flowing. Don't give super long, detailed answers. Like the weather example. Someone says, it's really hot today, isn't it? You don't need a 5-minute weather forecast. A simple, engaging reply like, yes, it is. I can't believe summer came so early this year. That's perfect. Keeps it moving. It's about interaction, not a lecture.
Exactly. Match the energy. Keep it brief but friendly.
Then strategy two, and this one is so important, always give a little extra information. The source really highlights this. Just saying yes or no can totally kill the conversation. It's like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, conversation killer. Definitely.
So instead of, do you like walking in the park? Yes. Full stop. That goes nowhere. The better way is, yes, I do. Usually go on weekends. To see that little extra bit, that gives the other person something to grab onto. A hook to continue the conversation. Maybe they'll ask about your weekend routine or which park you like.
That little extra is the key to making it a dialogue, not an interrogation.
Let's hear this in action. The power of small talk has a great little role play. Two colleagues, Sarah and John, in the office kitchen. Sarah starts, hey, how's your morning going? John, pretty good, thanks. Just grabbing some coffee. How about you? See? A little extra.
Yep. And the how about you? Crucial return.
Exactly. Sarah, same here. By the way, did you see the weather today? It's finally warming up. Con? Yeah, I noticed. Makes me want to go for a walk later. Do you like walking in the park? Sarah, I do. In fact, I usually go on weekends. Again, that extra detail.
That sounds so much more natural, doesn't it, when you break it down like that? You can really hear how those simple questions get short but informative answers. And then those answers loop back, often with another question or a detail that invites one. It keeps the rhythm going. John saying, just grabbing some coffee. How about you? And Sarah saying, I usually go on weekends. Those little additions, they're the hooks. Makes it feel like a genuine back and forth, not just Q&A. It really shows how those small bits of extra info fuel the conversation.
Yeah, it totally removes that awkward interview feeling.
And for our listeners, the power of small talk also gives some brilliant magic phrases, things you can use right away. They're nicely categorized too, which helps. So to start small talk, you've got things like, hi, how's it going? hey, nice weather today, isn't it? Maybe long day at work, or have you been busy lately? Very accessible openers. Then, to continue small talk, to keep it rolling, really, that sounds fun. Oh, I know what you mean. That must be exciting. Or just simply turning it back. What about you? And importantly, to end small talk politely. Phrases like, anyway, I should get back to work. Look, it was nice talking with you. The casual, catch you later, graceful exits are important too.
Absolutely. Those phrases might seem simple, but they are seriously powerful tools. They give you a script almost, a starting point, ways to keep it going, and ways to bow out smoothly. Practicing these, that's going to build your confidence and fluency so much faster, turns those potentially awkward moments into real opportunities to connect. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Basic interactions, the power of small talk, specific strategies and phrases. What does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, it means it's time for a little practice. Both sources, Confident English and The Power of Small Talk, really stress practice. So let's combine their advice into a quick challenge for you. First step, just pick one small talk topic. Weather, work, hobbies, weekend, travel. Doesn't matter which one. Just one.
Keep it simple.
Yep. Then try writing a short dialogue. Just two imaginary people talking about that topic. Maybe use some of the phrases we just mentioned. Once you have it written, the key is to practice it out loud. You could record yourself on your phone. That's actually really helpful to hear how you sound. Or even better, practice with a friend if you can. Remember that advice from Confident English. Practice every day, even if it's just 10 minutes.
Consistency is key.
Because, yeah, practice makes perfect,
Right.
or at least much, much better. And maybe the most important takeaway from the power of small talk is this. Don't be afraid of small talk. It's not about being perfect. It's about being friendly. Even if your grammar isn't flawless, people really do appreciate the effort when you try to connect.
That's so true. That effort counts for a lot. And honestly, confidence often matters more than perfect grammar in these first interactions. Just keep practicing low stakes, using these simple ideas. Every little conversation you have builds on the last. It builds vocabulary, sure, but more importantly, it builds that social confidence in English.
Exactly. So here's our final challenge, our final thought for you today. What's just one small, friendly conversation you are going to try and start this week? Pick one phrase, one strategy we talked about, go out there, initiate a little chat, and just watch your English skills and your confidence start to grow. Give it a try.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that digs into resources to pull out, well, the really useful stuff, giving you that shortcut to feeling genuinely well-informed. Today, we're jumping into something I think many of us can relate to, practical English for travelers. We've got this guide, Practical English for Travelers.
Right.
And you might think, okay, travel English, phrasebook stuff. But our mission today goes a bit deeper.
Yeah, exactly. This guide, it's not just a list. It's designed like a toolkit, really.
Okay.
What we want to unpack is why it chooses certain phrases
Okay.
and how it sets things up to build your confidence. There are some smart ideas, cognitive principles behind making these simple phrases work so well out there in real travel spots.
So it's about empowerment, direct, usable communication.
That's it. But also understanding let's say, the clever thinking behind how it empowers you.
I like that. So we'll look at how this guide helps you, ask for directions without feeling awkward, handle buying tickets smoothly.
Dining out, too?
Right, even ordering food politely. We'll dig into the subtle social stuff behind greetings, maybe even some grammar that's surprisingly powerful.
Yeah.
It's about getting the impact of these tools, not just like memorizing lists. By the end, you'll hopefully see how a few well-chosen phrases can really change your travel game, give you that informed edge.
Definitely.
Okay, let's jump right in. First hurdle for any traveler. Finding your way around a new place. It can be pretty stressful.
Oh, absolutely.
Our source gives us Dialogue 1, asking for directions. Now, on the surface, it looks super simple. Let's run through it.
Okay.
So, you've got a tourist looking for the train station.
Excuse me. Can you help me?
Sure. Where do you want to go?
I'm looking for the train station.
The train station is straight ahead. Walk 2 blocks and turn left.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a safe trip.
Okay. So, what's really interesting here, and the guide kind of hints at this, it's not just that, excuse me, is, polite.
Right. It seems basic.
It is, but it's also doing something else. Think of it like a social lubricant.
Explain that.
Well, it's like a little signal. It tells the other person, hey, sorry to interrupt, before you even ask your question. It sort of softens the approach.
Ah, I see. So it makes them more receptive.
Exactly. It lowers any potential annoyance. It's subtle, but quite effective. A neat bit of, like, social engineering to start off on the right foot.
That's a great way to put it. A social strategy, not just a phrase. And then it jumps straight into directions. Straight ahead, walk 2 blocks, turn left. What's the significance there? Why those specific ones?
Well, the guide picks these because they're very clear, unambiguous, straight ahead, no confusion about turns there,
Sure.
and block. That's interesting. It's a very common way to measure distance in cities, especially in North America, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So the guide isn't just teaching you words, it's giving you the sort of mental map, the framework people use in those places, how they think about space.
So it's like learning the local code for directions, not just the words go forward. I remember being told 3 blocks in New York and thinking, wait, how long is a block?
Right. But once you get it, it clicks.
Exactly. So this part of the guide, it's really about quickly understanding those cultural cues for directions.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the relief comes from, understanding the system, not just the vocabulary. It makes a stressful thing manageable.
Okay, so you've found your way. Now you need to actually get somewhere. Buying tickets, another key moment.
Often a bit pressured, too.
Totally. The guide tackles this with dialogue too. Buying a train ticket. Again, seems simple, but it's full of those essential high-frequency phrases.
Let's hear it.
All right.
Hello, I'd like a ticket to London, please.
One way or return.
Return, please.
Okay, that's $50. Cash or card.
Card, please.
Here's your ticket. The train leaves at 9:30.
Thank you very much.
Have a good journey.
Okay, this is just super efficient communication, isn't it? The guide picks one way and return because, well, that's the first big question, right?
Yeah, the core decision.
It clarifies everything immediately, no messing around. In a busy queue, that's vital. These aren't just words. They're like decision points. They speed everything up.
Good point. Cuts right to the chase. One way or return, and then cash or card. Another quick, essential binary choice.
Absolutely. The guide preps you for that standard payment question you hear everywhere. And leaves at, sounds obvious, maybe, but it's the most direct way to ask about the departure time.
Right, instead of getting tangled up asking, what time does the train depart? Or
Yeah.
something longer.
Exactly. It's all about precision. Minimum words for maximum clarity. It just reduces the effort needed on both sides. Quick, accurate.
It really is the difference between stumbling over your words and just clearly stating what you need.
Yeah.
Knowing these specific phrases, just like the guide lays them out, can save you so much hassle at any ticket counter.
Definitely gives you confidence in those common but crucial moments.
Now, here's a part of the guide that I thought was really interesting, really gets into the deep dive aspect. It's the focus on grammar, specifically using do and does for questions. Why is this framed as such a power-up for travelers?
Yeah, this is clever. This is where the guide moves beyond just phrases, focusing on do and does. Well, it's like handing you a master key.
A master key.
Yeah, because it unlocks the ability to ask almost any question about the present situation in English. The basic rule, like the source says, is using do or does for present tense questions. And that structure is just incredibly useful. Think about the examples. Do you live here? Do you speak English?
Yeah.
Does she like tea?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, so many practical travel questions start that way. Do you have Wi-Fi? Does the shop open early? Do you take credit cards?
Exactly. See, it's a framework for asking. The guide gets that a traveler's main job, often, is asking things, figuring stuff out.
Right.
So mastering this one grammar point massively boosts your ability to interact. You're not just stating things. You're actively seeking information.
So you can probe, clarify.
Precisely. And the guide encourages practice. Right.
Yeah.
Saying them aloud, like, do you like coffee? Do you go to school every day? Does he work at an office?
Right.
These aren't just drills. They're templates you can adapt for countless situations.
So what this really means for you, the listener, is that this simple grammar pattern, once you get comfortable with it, becomes a kind of super tool. It helps you ask tons of practical questions while you're traveling. You can go from just observing to actually engaging.
Yeah, it's a huge step up in active communication.
Okay, to kind of make all this concrete, the source includes a really nice mini story. It's about Maria from Spain on her first trip to New York.
Ah, yes, the listening practice. Yeah.
Exactly. And her experience really shows these skills in action. So Maria gets to the airport, and she's, understandably a bit nervous. Her English isn't perfect.
Then there.
Right. But she needs to find a taxi. So she goes to the information desk and listens to this simple exchange.
Excuse me, where's the taxi stand?
It's outside near the exit door. Maria thanks them, finds the taxi, gets in, and says, "Please take me to Times Square."
Yeah.
And the driver smiles. Understands perfectly.
And that's the aha moment, isn't it? For the listener, seeing Maria nervous, but still managing it. She achieves her goal, getting transport, stating her destination, using exactly the kind of basic, targeted phrases we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That little success is not just about getting a taxi, it's a huge confidence boost.
Yeah.
It shows you, the listener, what's possible.
It really demonstrates how a few key phrases can break down those barriers. The guide even asks questions to make you think about it. Where's Maria from? Spain, right? What did Maria ask for? The taxi stand. It's not just testing comprehension, it's getting you to see the strategy she used.
Yeah, it highlights that you don't need to be fluent to be effective. Strategic communication works wonders. And that driver's smile. That's communication success right there. Connection.
Definitely. Okay, so you've navigated the city, bought your ticket, maybe even hailed a cab like Maria. What's next? Often, it's food.
Always a priority.
Absolutely. So the guide moves smoothly into Dialogue 3, at a restaurant. Super useful for another very common and hopefully enjoyable travel situation.
Let's hear how that interaction goes.
All right, customer and waiter.
Good evening. Do you have a reservation?
No, I don't. Can I get a table for two, please?
Sure, this way, please.
Thank you. Can I see the menu?
Of course. Here you go.
I'd like some chicken curry and rice.
And what would you like to drink?
Just water, please.
Thank you. Your food will be ready soon.
Okay, again, deceptively simple, but really well structured. That first question, do you have a reservation? The guide includes that because it's a standard first step in many places, right?
True. It sets the scene.
Knowing the word reservation isn't just vocabulary. It's understanding a common cultural step. And then, can I get a table for two, please? Polite, clear, states the need, projects a bit of confidence.
It's about handling those initial social steps smoothly. And then the big one. Can I see the menu?
Exactly. The guide focuses on these high-impact phrases. Asking for the menu is like unlocking the whole experience. And notice the phrasing for ordering. I'd like.
Yeah, softer than just saying, give me chicken curry.
Right. It's more conversational, polite. And the waiter's line, your food will be ready soon. That's important too. It manages expectations, keeps things smooth. It's all about reducing friction, making it pleasant for everyone.
It's really clear how knowing just these specific phrases lets you navigate the whole dining experience comfortably. Ordering what you want, asking politely, no awkwardness, it just makes the whole thing more enjoyable.
Turns a potentially stressful interaction into a relaxed one.
So we've covered what to say and why it's effective. But the guide also touches on something crucial. How you say it? Pronunciation.
Yeah, that's often the missing piece, isn't it?
It really can be. How does the guide approach this?
Well, it takes a very practical approach. It understands that just knowing the word isn't enough. You need to be able to produce it somewhat naturally, so it suggests repeating phrases slowly, then faster.
As if you are in real life.
Yeah.
I like that bit.
Exactly. It's not about achieving a perfect accent. It's about building muscle memory for speech.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. So when you're actually talking to someone, you don't have to think so hard about forming the words. Your mouth just kind of knows what to do. It frees up your brain to focus on the conversation itself.
That makes a lot of sense. It connects knowing the words to actually saying them fluidly. And the guide gives specific phrases to practice, right? Like, where is the train station? I'd like a return ticket, please. Turn left at the next block.
And notice, those aren't random phrases.
No, they're the exact key phrases we've been discussing.
Precisely. Strategic repetition. So when you actually need to ask for the station or buy that ticket, the phrase is right there, ready to go. Not just in your head, but like ready on your tongue.
It builds confidence just knowing you can say it reasonably clearly. It makes the whole interaction feel less daunting, more natural.
Yeah, it bridges that gap between knowing and doing. Makes communication feel more effortless.
Okay, let's try and pull all this together. We've covered a lot. This deep dive really showed that practical English for travelers isn't just a phrase book.
No, definitely not.
We looked at the strategy behind asking for directions that, as a social tool, understanding blocks as a cultural map.
And the sheer efficiency needed when buying tickets. Those binary questions, one way or return, cash or card. How they just cut through the noise.
And that grammar power-up, using do and does, realizing it's the key to asking almost anything you need to know in the present tense.
A real unlocker. Then we had Maria's story.
Right, showing how even with some nerves, these focused phrases lead to success. That was powerful.
Yeah, relatable. And finally, dining out, seeing how knowing phrases for reservations, menus, ordering, it's really about navigating the social side smoothly.
So the core message from the source, it seems, is that learning English for travel is more about targeted competence than chasing perfect fluency, right?
Exactly. It's a journey, not a race. And the more you listen, repeat, practice these specific kinds of phrases and structures, the more automatic they become. This deep dive has hopefully given you a solid head start on that.
So keep these ideas, these nuggets, handy. It really isn't just about words. It's about opening up experiences, making connections.
For sure. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how these tools, these basic conversational keys we've discussed, go beyond just the practical stuff.
How so?
Well, how might using just one new phrase confidently McGavenly, maybe asking for directions differently, or handling that ticket purchase smoothly not just solve a problem, but maybe lead to an unexpected chat, or a shared smile, like with Maria's taxi driver? How might it subtly change how you feel moving through a new place, maybe even shift how you see yourself interacting with the world?
That's interesting. The ripple effect of small communication successes.
Exactly. Sometimes the biggest discoveries aren't just the places you see, but the connections you make, sparked by having the right words at the right time.